If you spend 5 minutes online, you'd think the only way to make money is drop shipping, selling courses, or competing with 10,000 other people for the same freelance gigs. It's exhausting. When the barrier to entry is just a laptop and an internet connection, your competition is global. This saturation creates a race to the bottom where profit margins eventually disappear. But look outside your window. The people building quiet wealth right now are operating in unglamorous, offline industries that are currently suffering from a massive lack of young talent. This shortage gives mundane service providers incredible pricing power. They can set their own terms and grow steadily because their competitors are retiring, not multiplying. Some operators make fortunes just by pumping out used cooking grease from behind restaurants and hauling it away to be sold to biofuel refineries. Treating a list of 25 boring businesses as a random collection of dead-end, dirty jobs misses the point entirely. From an investor's perspective, these are distinct asset classes, each requiring a specific strategy to survive and scale. Choosing the right one has nothing to do with passion. It requires a cold, honest audit of your current bank account, your available time, and your personal tolerance for discomfort. This matrix maps every venture on this list based on what you have to put in. We're plotting startup capital on the vertical axis against the physical labor and disgust factor on the horizontal axis. In the bottom right, we have Quadrant 1, the sweat equity routes. This includes services like pressure washing, mobile detailing, and gutter cleaning. You can launch these for under $2,000. The financial barrier is low, provided you are willing to trade your own physical energy for every dollar you earn. Because the results are so visually dramatic, the work often sells itself. You acquire customers quickly, and the profit margins are high because your primary expense is your own labor. However, your revenue is strictly capped by the number of hours you can physically work in a day. Most casual operators get stuck here. They burn out trying to wash every driveway or clean every gutter themselves and never manage to scale past a single van. To win in this quadrant, you have to put down the tools as fast as possible. Real wealth starts when you transition from being the technician to managing a fleet of hired crews. Slide over to Quadrant 2, the regulatory moats. This covers specialized services like exhaust hood cleaning, grease trap collection, and septic tank pumping. Success here requires navigating local bureaucracy and securing specialized permits. You also have to be willing to work in environments that most people find genuinely repulsive. That willingness pays off with sticky business-to-business contracts. Because these services are often mandated by fire and health codes, the law essentially renews your contracts for you. The daily reality is a grind. You are scrubbing industrial grease or pumping raw waste out of holding tanks in the middle of the night. Since restaurants and clinics only close late at night, your operational hours will be the opposite of everyone else's. This combination of midnight shifts and handling waste deters the vast majority of young entrepreneurs. That disgust factor is your primary defense. It guarantees that once you land a contract, you'll face almost zero competition from anyone looking for an easy win. Quadrant 3 includes vending routes, ATMs, and billboard leasing. These require a medium upfront investment to purchase the physical hardware. Because you have to buy the machines outright, the financial barrier to entry is higher than a simple service business. The promise here is asynchronous revenue, machines that collect fees 24 hours a day without the need for constant supervision or a large staff. In practice, these are land grab businesses. The actual machine is secondary to the physical square footage it occupies. Your core task is aggressive, continuous negotiation with property owners to secure the best possible foot traffic locations for your hardware. Without a prime location, your machine becomes a depreciating liability. It only generates cash if it sits in the path of people who are already spending money. The idea that this is passive is a misunderstanding. The machines might be passive, but keeping them in profitable spots requires highly active real estate management. Finally, we have Quadrant 4, heavy capital and asset plays. This covers self-storage facilities, laundromats, and land flipping. These require the most significant input, deploying heavy upfront capital or taking on millions in commercial debt to acquire buildings and industrial-grade equipment. These assets provide recession-resistant recurring revenue. People always need places to store their belongings and wash their clothes, making these facilities highly attractive to institutional buyers. Owning a self-storage facility involves managing a massive physical footprint. You're responsible for acres of security, maintenance, and facility management. The risks match the scale. You have to endure intense debt servicing pressure and navigate strict commercial zoning laws that can stall your growth for years. Because of the debt involved, interest rate fluctuations can turn a profitable facility into a massive financial liability overnight. To succeed here, you have to stop thinking like a scrappy local operator and start behaving like a sophisticated fund manager. Reaching millionaire status in these industries is never the result of performing the core task yourself. Wealth is generated when you systematize the work, building dense routes, securing mandated contracts, or acquiring hard assets that generate yield without your presence. Systematizing transforms the operation from a high-paying daily job into a standalone enterprise that has value to an outside buyer. Institutional buyers want to purchase a predictable stream of cash flow. They don't want a business that relies on the founder's daily manual labor. If the machine stops making money the moment you stop holding the hose or fixing equipment, your business has no real enterprise value. If you are time-rich but cash-poor, start in Quadrant 1. Build your initial cash flow through sweat equity and master team management before you take on any debt. If you are cash-rich but time-poor, look toward Quadrant 4 assets or purchase an established route from Quadrant 3 that already has a manager in place. If you want an impenetrable defensive moat, target Quadrant 2. The disgust factor and bureaucracy will keep your competition at an absolute minimum. Avoid crossing these categories before you have the resources. Taking out a massive loan for a laundromat without operational experience is how most beginners fail. Profits tend to hide exactly where social attention isn't. While the rest of the world fights for digital space, the physical world offers a much quieter path to building a fortune.